particular lesson, we're going to look at the concept of a game scene. S-C-E-N-E. What does that mean? What is a scene? Right, well, we're looking at a scene now. Unity can't be open without a temporary scene at least happening. And what that scene is, it's the 3D scene format that a lot of 3D content creation programs already have inherent. And we're looking at over here what's in our scene. Right now we have two things: a camera, which is always there when you start a scene, and a directional light, which is a default scene object that gets created. So we're just looking at this random scene. Now, the scene being that collection of objects, let's put some more stuff in our scene. So I'm just going to click on Game Object, and let's just create a cube. We're going to get to different types of game objects in the next section. Right now I'm just going to grab my cube here, and I'm going to move it around using the Move tool. And right here we have the ability to change from local to global coordinate systems. I can rotate my object. Right now this scene information contains the objects, and each object contains these components, and each one of these components, and you can see I can change those, has a value. And the scene contains and collects and saves all of this information out. So when I have a scene open and I have these objects, and I can just, let's say, duplicate that. Duplicate it a few times, and we'll move it. And I can change over here from local to global. And that's our coordinate space. And if you're not familiar with coordinate space, I suggest you go and do a few tutorials on how to move and manipulate objects in 3D space in any 3D content creation tool. All right, so now I'm moving these objects, changing their transform. So in the scene, basically what is existent inside of the file is all of the information about the pieces or objects that are inside of the scene, all of the information pertinent to those pieces, which in this case is these cubes and this light, and any other project settings that you have for this particular scene. So I can change my lighting, right? And when I'm done with all this stuff, I can say, well, look, I've got it to the point where I want this environment or this scene, and I can save this out as an independent scene. So I'm going to go to File, Save Scene. Oops. Let's cancel that. Say File, Save Scene. And let's say Save Scene As. It's already been saved in some way because it's temp. So I'm going to say New Scene. It's asking me where I'm going to put it. Let's just dump it in our Assets folder for now. Click on Save. Now, if I open some other scene here, and I've got another scene open, then it's a completely different collection of objects and placements and parameters. Everything is different. So I've got another collection of stuff as a separate scene, which is also a separate file. So Unity saves this out as an individual file. And I'm going to find it here in Assets as that new scene. If I double click it, Unity will pop that up. It'll close the previous scene. It can't have two scenes open at once. It can only look at one scene at once. So even though they exist as collections or as files, multiple files in your project directory, you can't drop a scene into a scene. A scene is an entity unto itself, and all the other objects in Unity go into that scene.